have Legos, Mega Blocks, or Bionicles growing up?
Bionicles.
Bionicles, good.
I had both, like all the sets of the original, the first two generations.
I had Mega Blocks and Bionicles.
Good.
Mega Blocks
If
were
I
good.
ever have kids, I want to raise him or her with Bionicles. I'm gonna buy a big tub of them. It's like, here, build something.
Build something, do something with your life.
But here's a manual to build at least one of them correctly.
Here's a manual to build IKEA furniture. Just set them up with an IKEA set.
But it's like a Kia set for kids.
No, it's gotta be for adults. How old do you think? How long do you think it would take a toddler to build IKEA furniture?
I think a good 2, 3, maybe 4,
Those are just numbers. I need something to go with that.
6, 7. I don't know.
Those are just numbers. 6, 7 years, months, days, hours, minutes. What are you saying?
If they're really good, maybe 2.
Well, these are just numbers. I need something to go with that.
You don't realize that there's a joke in that. I was watching something. It was relating to a doctor thing. It was like you have maybe 2 or 3 months, years to live, maybe 4.
I need two orchard. I need 2 sets of the. You are listening to the Can You Handle This cast starring Faith and Salvadoom on my desk by this morning. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Can You Handle This cast. I'm getting even faster as we go on with it. I am Faith, joined as always by the man who once ate an entire refrigerator and then spit it back up, ate it again, spit it up, cooked it, put it in the microwave, ate it again, and then had a great day. You are Salvadoom.
You know what? I'm fine with that.
Well, it's your life story. You gotta start writing it down. Make,
Story
make
of
that
my life, kids.
make that your Steam bio.
Now I need to rag it down.
You gotta start writing it as we speak. But anyways, this week in wrestling made no sense whatsoever, but we're gonna try and make heads and tails of it. And it all starts with the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, the last SmackDown pay-per-view before Mania, and it was good, but by the end of it, it just had us kind of scratching our heads at parts of it.
What?
Yes. Uh, if anyone doesn't realize, his connection isn't the best today, but we're going to try and trudge through it. It all starts with the pre-show. Mojo Rawley going over Kurt Hawkins in the battle of Zack Ryder's former tag team partners.
It broke his heart, probably. He's probably somewhere in his house crying himself to sleep, knowing that his 2 tag team partners are facing each other off in a match.
Not just a match, a pre-show match, which seems to be Mojo Rawley's specialty as of late, and Kurt Hawkins too.
Weren't they billing Kurt Hawkins to be that one guy that was Chuck Norris-esque, more or less?
Well, sort of. It was like the whole, facts about him that were, funny at times, but at the most part, it's just like, okay, you're just rehashing it, and it wasn't really going anywhere, and it certainly shows because now he's on the pre-show.
But the match itself was actually pretty enjoyable, more or less. It was a good Mojo Rawley squash fest with him running around everywhere. I mean, one of these days he's gonna run so fast he's gonna end up breaking the ropes.
Something like that, or he's going to try to go back and bounce off the ropes, and he's going to have himself do a backflip and catch himself and take off half his ear like Mick Foley.
Probably, or maybe the motion and the momentum of the flip actually causes him to go into the audience,
or just $1 Million Babies himself on the side of the ring.
I mean, man, he's pretty fast for a jacked guy, like maybe like Apollo Crews.
I mean, he's a football guy. What do you expect?
Well, he did play in the NFL, and And as he keeps quoting, he tore his entire leg off the bone.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but the match itself, it was a good entertaining match for the pre-show. I didn't mind it as much because it's Mojo Rawley's Kurt Hawkins match. It's okay for what you got.
I feel like these guys don't have the most chemistry, but then again, they just sort of started up. So I say give them time, and they could have some good matches here and there. But this was just kind of a time filler, and I thought they were going to have two matches, but apparently they didn't. So we kick off the actual card with Becky Lynch versus Mickie James, and as you were saying, Mickie James still has it.
Yeah, that's right. I was actually really shocked that she was able to keep up pace with people, keep up the pace with the likes of Becky Lynch, and the match itself. It was really good for an opening matchup for a pay per view like this.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't really like is the fact that they repeated it on SmackDown and sort of made this match feel lesser. But this was a really good match, and from both parties, it wasn't like it was totally one-sided or anything. At points, you could think that any one of them could win. It was certainly a far cry from Mickie James versus Asuka, where you knew all along that Asuka was just going to win because there was no way that she was going to do it. But at points from here, you thought, oh, could Mickie do it? Could Becky do it? But Becky ends up getting the win, and I don't know if this is going to lead in anything else or if this is just the start of a rivalry with them. But I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. And then we move on to the second match of the main card. Kalisto and Apollo Crews in a 2-on-1 handicap match defeating Dolph Ziggler. And on paper, of course, it seems that way, but you weren't really sure going into it if Ziggler was going to pull it out. But, I mean, come on. I think this is the first time in forever that I saw two faces in a handicap match versus one heel. So it was kind of a no-brainer that Kalisto and Apollo were going to win, but they still put on a good match.
Yeah, I mean, like the beginning of the match, when Kalisto shows up doing his whole lucha thing and having Dolph coming out and just throwing him against the actual LED light board that they have there was actually really good. It was really good to show like maybe this could be a singles match, but then Kalisto hobbles his way back to the ring and does his flippy thing, his lucha
This
thing.
lucha thing, woo! I think my mom pretty much called this one. She said that it was going to be Kalisto doing a couple flips and Apollo really showing them that he can take it, and that was pretty much how it was.
It's one of those things like it's a face versus a heel thing. You kind of knew the faces were going to come out on top, but how it was okay. Like considering how the match was, like how it started, the finish was kind of blandish for me.
And I believe this was the shortest match of the night too, so it kind of left
Yeah.
more to be desired. But overall, it wasn't the worst match.
I mean, you can get pretty worse matches. You can get worse matches, but this match was okay for what you got.
Yeah, I mean, just remember it could have been a whole lot worse. Anyways, we had the tag team turmoil match. We had American Alpha retain their titles over the Ascension and the Usos and all the other teams that they threw in there. Slater and Rhino, Breezango, Vaudevillains, all that sort of thing. And honestly, at points there, I thought the Ascension were going to take it. There were shines in there where I'm thinking, okay, this could be the Ascension's time. Maybe they're going to be in there. But no, American Alpha with their just winning ways, I guess. And I guess their train isn't going to be stopping anytime soon.
But this match does leave for a WrestleMania match right here. With the Usos being pinned by American Alpha, and them having the WWE having the Usos attack them, like having that ambush before the Ascension coming out. It kind of like sets up like the building blocks for their Mania match,
Honestly, I would
which
much rather see American Alpha versus the Ascension, but it seems like they're really pushing this Uso thing, so I guess that's where they're going to go with it.
yeah, but like when I saw the Ascension, I do like their new look. I like Victor, is Connor or Victor? Which which one? The one with the face mask. I like
Uh,
the face mask.
I believe Victor is the bigger one. I believe.
All right, but the one with the face mask, I like the face mask. It makes him look. It makes him look more outlandish.
Yeah, sort of pushes away from the fact that they borrowed a lot of their design from the Road Warriors.
Yeah, I think that's why like people don't really like them as a team. Don't like their characters because it's kind of like the Road Warriors. So I like how they're just trying to evolve them from Road Warrior esque to like more darker aspects
Yeah,
of their personalities, which is always a good thing if you have characters like that.
definitely. And speaking of characters, two characters that we are totally tired of seeing, Nikki Bella and Natalia wrestling to a double count out. And honestly, did you see this going any other way? They're not going to let this die ever. This is going to be just another rivalry that just doesn't end. And yeah, I mean, 13 minutes and 40 seconds to just have it end in a double count out? Like, come on now.
I actually just didn't care about this match to the point that I just stopped watching it. Like I stopped watching it, did something, came back, it's like, oh, the match is still on. Oh, it's a double count. All right, because I'm tired of watching these two. Like I understand Natalia's the only woman who graduated the Hart family dungeon. Nikki Bella slept her way to the top. We get it.
We're what, 4 months into this feud and it has no signs of stopping? Like, come on now.
It's getting ridiculous by this point. It's just tiresome to just watch them fight week in and week out for what? Like, how did their rivalry start? Like, I understand it was the whole Natalia assaulting her in the backstage of Survivor Series, but there really isn't a point for this rivalry by this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's too far in. Like, we get it. You don't like each other. Just move on. Anyways,
I mean,
speaking, go.
Ellsworth and
Yeah,
Carmella, like remember they had a thing. Carmella and Nikki had a thing that went on for far too long, and then they just shifted her to Ellsworth. Maybe shift Natalia to someone else. Maybe
about to touch on that. Like, they completely went a whole other direction with with Carmella. So I feel like it's time to just move on from Natalia. Give her something else to do.
but thinking about it, how many other women are there on the SmackDown roster?
Let's see. We got. I mean, it's just a matter of time before we get another call up.
Yeah, but then again, it's probably gonna be Liv Morgan.
I mean, if not Liv Morgan, then they may sign somebody. Didn't you say that there's a
Meaning their
few
women's tournament.
women coming up that are being signed?
Yeah, I don't know, but this entire thing, I think it all goes down to the lack of women on the SmackDown roster.
Can we just sign Shaw Guerrero?
No, you saw her match in TNA. She botched a plancha.
So,
How do you botch falling out of a ring?
I don't know. I've never done it.
Like she just literally gets caught in the ropes and then just falls on her head.
Speaking of falling on their head, let's move on to Randy Orton and Luke Harper, with Randy Orton winning over Luke Harper pretty handily in about 17 and a half minutes in a really back and forth match where this match was another one where it really could have gone either way.
Yeah, this also kind of proves to this also proves to people that Luke Harper can handle with the best of them.
And it really makes you think, what's his future going to be? Like, I've got my ideas on what it's going to be, but I mean, it makes you think. Are they willing to put,
Yeah, it
a
does.
title on him?
I mean, they did briefly, but then again,
That
I
was the
think that was like
IC title,
the
though.
testing of the water. I think it was like a testing of the waters to see how he would do as a champion. But I like where he's going. He broke off the Wyatt. He broke off from the Wyatt family, and I'd like to see where he goes from here. I don't see him being at Mania, but maybe see how it goes. Maybe he'll have a match at an important match by SummerSlam.
I'm just going to wait and see. Anyway, speaking of things that we didn't see was going to happen, but are so glad that it did, Naomi defeating Alexa Bliss to win the SmackDown Women's Championship. Boy, oh boy, I'm so happy that Naomi finally did it.
Like how long has she been? How long has she been in the company? Like for so long, being one of the original women on the original NXT, going from the Funkadactyls, as she said, pulled muscles, shattered
Shattered
bones,
retinas.
yeah, shattered retina and a broken eye socket. She went through hell for that belt, and I'm actually really glad that she won it.
I hope that she keeps it forever and forms a power couple with Rocky Romero.
You and Rocky Romero. Just because you watch one of his matches, you're obsessed with Rocky Romero.
No, because I want the two people that wore eye patches to have a team.
Well, then again, it's all about Roppongi Vice.
She can join Roppongi Vice. She can eat McGriddles
It's super early in the morning.
from Japanese McDonald's.
But the match itself, it was a really good match. I did enjoy that match a lot because the back and forth between those two, the progression, it just flowed well. Personally, it just flowed well. But then reading online that the match was cut 2 minutes kind of made sense because near the end they were like a little slipping. They were slipping.
Apparently, she hurt her knee as well. Naomi did, but I mean, I've said for the longest time that Naomi's probably the best wrestler that's not a horsewoman, and she's honestly better than a couple of them if you ask me. Like I'd put her up on the same levels as Sasha Banks and them, but Naomi,
An actual
she's
horsewoman.
yeah, right. But Naomi certainly showed it in this match that given the chance, she can definitely bring it.
And you know what? She's going to WrestleMania, her hometown, as the champion. Let's just hope she leaves as the champion because just imagine the reaction.
And speaking of leaving as a champion, we had the Elimination Chamber match where John Cena lost the belt. After holding it for, what, a month? He loses the belt in a match that included AJ Styles, The Miz, Dean Ambrose, Baron Corbin, and the new WWE Champion, Bray Wyatt.
But before we even talk about the match, let's just talk about the new chamber design because they've been saying it all night. The new chamber, the new elimination chamber. What's your opinion on the new chamber?
Honestly, I like how it looks. I know a lot of people are 50-50 on it, but I like how it looks.
Like for when I first saw, I'm like, wait, plexiglass on the side. That made no sense to me. But then again, the SmackDown Live camera angles that they have, like the roaming camera that goes above the ring, how it's designed. I like the new design because how Ambrose used it, it makes sense now. Like they're adding a lot of safety precautions, which is great for the WWE because remember the old chamber. Remember the old chamber?
To
How
the
it's all metal?
to the point where I had to explain to my mom why it was in black and white because everyone was bleeding.
Because the first chamber match, Triple H crushed his trachea.
Thanks, RVD.
Yeah, but I'm really glad that they redesigned it. They made it bigger, which makes the flying wrestlers like AJ Styles and maybe if they have another chamber match by next year with like more cruiserweight style wrestlers, they can jump more because remember, Johnny Mundo, Mysterio, Kalisto, they had their chamber matches, but they couldn't do a lot of high spots because of
For
the restrictions of the chamber itself.
for a second there, I thought you were going to say people like Mauro Ranallo get in the chamber.
Mamma mia!
I'm going off the top rope.
Morrow, no!
Also, everyone use
But
hashtag Tranquilo.
the match itself, it was a good match, but I like seeing how the match was, it made me love the new chamber design because it allows and what because seeing the ring itself, seeing the chamber, it looks like it covers that way to the audience.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, it's
And then gives him more room to perform, gives him more room to do a lot of good spots. And I don't think the black part, I don't think it's wood. I think it's padding, like not actual padding. I think it's like Olympic style wrestling mats on there.
Right.
So it's hard stuff.
It is safer though.
It's safer, but it's also stiffer. And you're talking to a guy that actually did Olympic style wrestling.
True.
It hurts when you fall on it.
So that about sums it up, and then it takes us right into Monday night. Now, Monday night, I'm sure the big taking point from that has got to be the Festival of Friendship, and it was
broke
certainly
my
what
heart,
resonated
man.
with me. Yes, but let's start from the beginning. We had Roman Reigns defeating Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson by disqualification, making Roman look pretty strong. So, I mean, honestly, people are starting to cheer for Roman. Like, there was some Roman, and they were in Las Vegas, the city that booed him like crazy back in Money in the Bank. So, it's weird seeing that, and of course, Braun Strowman doing his thing, just do that, all that. Kofi Kingston beating Bo Dallas via pinfall with the SOS of all things. It's been forever since he won with the SOS. It's also been forever since Bo Dallas was on TV. So welcome back, Bo.
Oh,
Bo, leave. Jack Gallagher defeated
believe in
Noam Dar
yourself.
via pinfall. Great to see Gallagher getting his
Uh,
stuff in.
yeah. Can I talk about this though? Emelina,
Emelina.
she shows up. She says Emelina has arrived, but she a makeover of Emelina to Melina, Emelina to Emma. What happened? Did I have a stroke?
17 weeks. We have people saying, can't wait for Emelina. Emelina's right around the corner. 17 weeks. And now she shows up, says, oh yeah, I'm Emma now, leaves. It's like when Jericho came back and just stood in the middle of the ring and then walked away for like 5 weeks straight. It's like, why?
From what I read on the rumor mill, apparently the backstage officials did not like how Emelina did her stuff. They didn't like how the character was, and apparently Emelina was a face character, so they're trending Emma back heel. What's happening? Like, did it seems like the character was so bad. Like Emma was so bad. Like it was. Apparently, it looks like she wasn't even trying.
I don't know, dude. I just hope they do something that helps to incorporate Dana Brooke again.
I mean, I love her team with Dana Brooke in NXT. And I'm really hoping that this does a program with Emma and Charlotte over the custody of Dana Brooke.
They just have a custody ladder match like they had for Dominic.
Oh my god. They have Dominic show up on WWE television just to give
He's the special referee.
Dana Brooke's try.
Uh, and
Uh,
then we had Braun Strowman on his magical journey through beating all the big guys of yesteryear. Braun Strowman defeated Mark Henry pretty handily, looking like just a beast. Just throwing Mark Henry like he was nothing. Like, come on, man. Then Roman Reigns showed up, beat him up, but Braun Strowman just threw Roman aside like he was nothing and just walked out. And Roman's just like, dude, what? Like, this is the first time that we've actually seen Roman like kind of taken off his feet for a while, and then like not be able to get back up. He's like, man, I can't beat this guy. But it's certainly looking like they're going to be booking Strowman Reigns for the wow, I like what I did there. Strowman Reigns for WrestleMania.
or maybe Fastlane. Because remember, Fastlane's a good 2 weeks away.
I feel like
The
this could
Raw
spill over though.
exclusive pay-per-view spill over. But next match of the night, Sami Zayn defeating Rusev in
No. You missed it.
where
He is handsome Rusev.
oh, I'm sorry, handsome Rusev. It doesn't matter what's on his face; he will always be handsome. And let me tell you this: it makes me sad every time Rusev loses. Every time Rusev loses, an angel loses its wings.
And it's nice to say this before this. You had a segment with Samoa Joe, where Samoa Joe like kind of does his little thing. He kind of hints, like yeah, like Sami Zayn, that guy, he can't do nothing. I'll show him up. And at the time, it seemed like he was just kind of okay. Why is he talking about Sami Zayn? But then he beat up Sami Zayn after the match.
I mean, if you're Samoa Joe, you're gonna beat someone up. It's a God-given fact,
Joe is gonna kill you.
and I think he did.
I really like what they're doing with Samoa Joe, making him sort of a hitman gimmick, and I just want to see where it's going to go from here. It's kind of good that
Just
he's not.
tattoo some.
It's good that he's not sitting there sticking on Seth Rollins for forever. Now he's actually going out and doing his other thing. I'm not sure if it's going to tie in with like an authority thing, but I mean, I guess we're just going to have to see where it goes.
Yeah, and the whole Samoa Joe hitman. It fits the character. Seeing Samoa Joe from his ROH days to now, you kind of see the evolution of the character, and this is kind of like the culmination of all those years of him traveling the world to be the guy that beats up other guys.
And now it's finally part of his gimmick. Now we got Akira Tozawa beating Arya Daivari by pinfall. Afterwards, Brian Kendrick came out and was like, "Oh yeah, I'm Tozawa's mentor. I teach him everything he knows." But Tozawa's like, "What? What are you talking about?" And it's really cool, that dynamic where Kendrick's like pretending to be the teacher of all these guys when they really have nothing to do with him. Anyways, we have Cesaro beating Enzo Amore. Big shocker there. But I don't think Enzo Amore is ever going to win a singles match in his life. Cesaro beat him after the Super European Uppercut, whatever you want to call it, pop-up uppercut, and won it. And then the main event, Bayley defeating Charlotte to win the Women's Championship. And it's just a fact that Charlotte's going to lose the belt during the week, but win it at the pay-per-view. Like, that's got to be cemented at this point, right?
Yeah, they're gonna keep her pay-per-view undefeated streak for a while, and maybe it might culminate at WrestleMania. You never know. But remember when you met, she hugged the right people, man. She hugged the right people.
She hugged the right people. But also, we have to touch on the Festival of Friendship, probably the segment of the year. Do you want to run us through that?
Oh man, it's like it's like it happened just seconds ago, man. It's cemented into my core because you know me, and you know that I'm not the type of person to like get emotional on things, right?
Right.
Like I'm the type of guy that would see a group of little kids cry, and then I would beat them up and take their lunch money.
However,
That's the type of person I am, right?
however,
The Festival of Friendship broke my heart because Jericho, it kind of felt like it was a heartfelt promo that he did, a heartfelt pipe bomb that he said, giving all these lavish gifts to Kevin Owens, giving him in whatever the statue from that one artist. I don't remember the artist's name. A painting that recreates the birth of man.
where they're not wearing pants and where he says, "It's art, you don't have to wear pants."
Well, he's right, you know. And
And
the
he,
Geritron 5000.
well, yeah, he
Oh
brought
my
the
god.
Geritron, and also he called out Goldberg, saying, "Hey, Goldberg, come out here and we'll show you what for." But it wasn't Goldberg, it was Gilberg.
It's everyone's favorite Gilbert in person.
Everyone's
What?
favorite Gilberg impersonator, Gilberg?
Yes. But you know what? You know what Gilbert was missing? He was missing the line tattoo that he had. That's just Sharpie.
Oh, yes, he was missing it. I wish he would have gotten that out. But the night culminated with, well, not the night, but the segment, with Jericho opening the present that Kevin Owens did. Also, Jericho was dressed up like Justin Timberlake in this. He had all the sparkles, he had the fedora, he had all that, and Kevin Owens was just chilling with just his shirt and ring gear. Kevin Owens gives him the gift, and it's a new list. He said, "Oh man, a new list. I urge you all to watch this because I can't do it justice." But he opens the list and sees, wait a second, my name's on here. Takes out of the package. It's the list of KO. And Kevin Owens just murders Chris Jericho, just taking him all around, beating him up, throwing his head through the Jeritron. And yeah, if you want to watch it, the best way to watch it is the Selena scene, where it just plays "My Heart Will Go On" over the scene. It's just c'est magnifique. You gotta watch this. You will not be disappointed.
It's so sad though because you if you hear the crowd reaction, they were cheering, and then the instant you hear, "Why is my name on here?" The crowd just went
They just
south
go,
emotionally.
oh.
Oh no! And I think a guy started crying in the front row because I think I heard someone crying. The
I would not
crowd was
doubt it.
so invested in this. This literally broke my heart, man. Like friendship broken, as Corey Graves put it. In life, there are only three certains in life: Owens and Chris Jericho being best friends, and now one of them's broken.
Man, it's so sad to see this go, but I feel like it could very well culminate at WrestleMania.
Yes,
I don't know if it's going to
and you
be
know
for
what?
both titles or one title or neither title, but I want to see this match. It's just going to be the perfect
It's
payoff.
gonna be at it's gonna be at Mania, and you know what? Jericho's gonna win it. I'm calling it now.
Think so?
Or maybe Kevin Owens just yells out, "I hate you," and just murders him. Just throws him out of the WrestleMania ramp
Well, I mean,
into
Owens has
obscurity.
turned on multiple best friends already, so it's just a matter of time. Anyways, we move on to SmackDown now, where let's see what all went down. We had a great main event. We had a shocker for an ending, and all the fun in between. John Cena came in saying, "I'm invoking my rematch clause." Then AJ Styles came out and said, "I still need a rematch. Give me a rematch." So they book a triple threat main event, and yeah, so they get him down there, and honestly, I was hyped for this match, but I also kind of had in the back of my mind, okay, I don't think Bray's going to give it up anytime soon. So it all goes through. But the night kicks off with American Alpha versus the Ascension. American Alpha coming out the win. And it was a good match, but I kind of want to see Ascension, do more than what they're doing. And of course, as you said, at the end of this, you had the Usos come out and sort of challenge them to a match, and which will probably end up being at WrestleMania.
Like I said, man, it's. I think the high that they're getting off the Usos is they're being themselves. They're being who they are as individuals, like their personality wise. So I think that's why people want them. Like the backstage people back there, the big guys, aka Vinnie Mac, Mister. I got my head shaved by our president.
And the man with three H's.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure they're glad that the Usos kind of found a little renaissance in being their own character instead of the whole "when I say ooh" sort of thing. Uh, anyways, we have Baron Corbin beating up Dean Ambrose before we're able to have a James Ellsworth match. So I guess we're saved from an Ellsworth match, but it further puts on this Corbin Ambrose thing, including Baron Corbin with a deep six onto a I guess a table that held pyrotechnics or something, and Ambrose apparently hit the pyrotechnics on the way down and set a firework off, even though it kind of went off before he hit the table, so they kind of messed that up. But I mean, it was a serviceable thing. Nothing really is going to come of it outside of maybe a match at Mania. Who knows?
Yeah, one of the big rumors coming out is that It might be Corbin versus Ambrose at Mania for the Intercontinental title in another disqualification match because of how they're going through with this feud.
It would certainly make sense from that. Anyways, we have a rematch: Lynch versus Mickey James. Lynch wins again, so on and so forth. Actually, no, I think Mickey James won this one. That's right.
Yes, she did.
Mickey James won because she faked an injury and hit her with a Mick kick from the corner and ended up winning. And yeah, it was just a rematch. That's about it. Naomi says she's injured. Alexa Bliss comes out and says, "Oh, if you're so injured, give me the belt." That sort of thing. Just a regular old. And then the main event, Cena, Styles, and Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt ends up winning after pushing AJ Styles off the side. This match was just nonstop entertainment. Really good. The things that these three can do. Ends up being Sister Abigail and Cena to retain. And then afterwards, Randy Orton comes out and says, "Just so you know, I'm not going to fight you. You're my master. I'm giving up my match at WrestleMania." To which, on Talking Smack, they say they're going to hold a number one contenders battle royal to see who's going to face Bray for the championship at WrestleMania. Could it be Luke Harper? Who knows?
Okay. This raised so many questions. Orton declaring that he will not be facing Wyatt at WrestleMania. People are saying he can't do that. He won the Rumble. But apparently, I'm not sure what year, but they did announce that if the winner of the Rumble refuses to wrestle at WrestleMania or is unable to compete, that the runner-up is able to participate in the spot. So, if this rule is actually legit, they'll probably give it to Roman Reigns.
So it'd be what, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens?
Maybe. But then again, they're not going to do that. So what I'm predicting now is Orton versus Wyatt, Harper.
That's what I think is going to happen. Also, I think
It's like
I think it's going to be like Randy. It's going to be like Randy. Just come on, help me beat him. And I think Randy may end up pinning Luke Harper at the end of it, so that he'll have the title, but he won't have to turn on Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. So it could be, but this can actually lead to another angle where Orton's like, "Yeah, I took advantage of you. I had the title now," or something like that. Because of how that's gonna go down, it kind of seems like if the match happens like that, a triple threat match, and that happens, it seems like Orton will turn face, or Wyatt turns face.
I mean, we're just gonna have to wait and see from there. I guess we're just gonna have to.
Also,
take a step back.
SmackDown had 3 matches this week.
3 matches. Well, it had a lot of segments in there, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyways, we move on to 205 Live, where we have a few more matches. Noam Dar and Alicia Fox in his corner versus Rich Swann. Rich Swann ends up going over with a Phoenix Splash off the second rope. And yeah, that's about it. TJ Perkins and Neville had an interview going on. TJ Perkins showing that he's not the best talker after all. I guess we're just gonna have to see where that ends up, because chances are they're gonna have it at Fastlane, a match between those two. Oh no, they have Jack Gallagher going up against Neville, don't they?
Yeah.
For the title.
Gallagher versus Neville. And let's just hope William helps him to become the new WWE Cruiserweight champion. But thinking about it, do you see a trend that the champion holds the titles for like a good 2 months?
Well, I think that was just until, they had a cemented star as Neville to hold it.
Yeah, but then, like, going into this, it kind of seems like the match itself might be a really good match. Going, like, through this entire thing, knowing how the progression of all these championship matches for the Cruiserweight title, it seems like this will be the title change match. Because usually by the first title defense, by the new champion, don't they usually lose?
I mean, I don't see it happening because I feel like Neville's had too much of a head of steam behind him to lose this easily, especially to Jack Gallagher. But I mean, it could happen, but I don't see it. I don't see it going.
Okay. Um.
We had Grand
Yeah.
Metalik versus Drew Gulak. Grand Metalik's grand debut here on 205 Live. Grand Metalik goes over after the Metalik driver. Apollo Crews, Alexa Bliss, and AJ Styles get announced they're going to be talking smack, that sort of thing. Then the third match is Neville versus TJ Perkins. Actually, a really, really good match. Neville wins with the Rings of Saturn, and yeah, this was just a really good match. I suggest everyone watch 205 Live for this.
Yeah, and also NXT. The only match I did see from NXT this week was my boy, our boy, Tyler Driver 97 himself, Tyler Bate winning against his mentor and best friend Trent Seven for the WWE UK title. And if you're a fan of strong style wrestling, you better watch it, man. It's a really good match.
Yeah, it was a super good. It was the two Mustache Mountain guys going at it, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, man. Yes, it was. And not only that, it looks like Pete Dunne's making his strides in NXT as well. And not even setting a foot in the door, he already pissed off William Regal again.
Just took a one thing to do. Anyways, going back, you had a DIY promo saying they want a rematch. Going back even farther, we had Ember Moon and Liv Morgan versus Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, with Billie Kay and Peyton Royce getting the win. Kind of weird that they would already snap Ember Moon's undefeated streak, but hey, I guess that's what they want to do. And then the opening match was the Authors of Pain in a squash match, beating Garrison Spears and Lance Hawaii. And yeah, Stereo cornered Death Valley drivers to murder him. That's about it. And that was NXT. Other than the main event, nothing really all that eventful. Other than, Ember Moon losing her undefeated streak.
Yeah, but I think that what they're going to go now is her singles match undefeated streak by this point.
Most likely. Of course, still no Lucha Underground until late May. So then we move on to TNA Impact. Apparently, the Hardys can teleport now. Yeah. And the Wolves have split up. Rosemary and Crazy Steve.
No.
Yep, Rosemary and Crazy Steve, with Abyss in their corner, took on Moose and Brandy Rhodes. I'm shocked Brandy Rhodes is still on there. Moose and Brandy Rhodes pick up the win after a discus clothesline from Moose. Eddie Edwards says, I'm here to beat up Davey Richards, that sort of thing. Moose and Brandy have a little thing back there where Moose says if anyone messes with her, give him a call, that sort of thing. They had a segment with Eddie Edwards, Davey Richards, and Angelina Love that didn't really go anywhere, kind of just further going on with it. It was Kingston versus Jesse Goddard, and I'm shocked that Jesse Goddard even still has a job anymore, but he got the win over Kingston.
Whoa.
He got a win over Kingston. They had the Facts of Life with Tyrus. Says that Eli Drake isn't his friend. Eli Drake broke his arm, basically. Says that the fans don't deserve to hear him speak, but need to give Tyrus the truth, that sort of thing. They had the Mexico match for the Hardys, and just as you said, the face was blurred out. And they showed that the promoter for the match was Conan, who gave him the match, that sort of thing.
I think this entire thing is the Hardy's quest for gold. I think this is where it all starts, right?
Yeah, and Conan's just like, all right, I'll get you there, but just so you know, I don't have to pay you, and I may have some bootleg stuff for you guys, just letting you know. Just great Conan stuff. There was a bachelorette party going on with Maria and Allie and Laurel and whatever. Something Braxton will love, some lingerie. All right, I don't know what's going on there. Back in Mexico, the Hardys are getting ready. Yeah, but yeah, the ref is blurred, which I think was kind of funny. And then they had Psychosis and Super Crazy versus the Broken Hardys, and yeah, Matt had a premonition of being an Egyptian king, and yeah, they get the win. So the
It was
Hardys have
it
those
was a weird
titles.
match. It was a weird match, you know.
It was super
It's
weird.
really weird to see like the Hardys just start to like, we have the star power.
But then it says next week they're going to the Mid Atlantic. You know what that means. You do know what that means, right?
What?
It says that next week the Hardys going to the Mid Atlantic. Does that mean they're going to show the MCW match they had? Who knows?
I hope so.
Anyway, we had Sienna with Maria versus Brooke. Man, women's wrestling in TNA has really fallen from grace, dude.
I mean, the only good female athlete I'll have to say now, not including them, was Ali is the only good wrestler they have, and Sienna. They're the only two that I can actually see like that are good wrestlers.
Oh, Rosemary's not bad.
What?
Rosemary's pretty good.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I forgot. Also your girl, Mia Yim.
Mia Yim, that's right.
She's also
Jade. Anyway, Brooke got the win
there,
after
I
a
think.
roll up. Josh Barnett and Lashley segment. They're probably going to have a cage match or whatever. Eddie Edwards versus Davey Richards in a street fight. And yeah, the team broke up, so they're already fighting. Didn't really have a finish because, yeah, that's about it. I mean, Earl Hebner got nut tapped, and
God damn it, Hebner.
Angelina counts 1, 2, 3, and then makes out with Davey Richards, and yeah, that's sort of just how it ends.
Doesn't she?
What a weird show.
Doesn't she have a kid with one of them?
Probably.
Yeah. Other than that, I think that's it for this week's. Oh yeah, there's also 2 other wrestling events that I want to talk about.
Little upcoming stuff, all right.
Not upcoming stuff. Things that happened this past weekend. If you're a great New Japan fan, that you know that on the 11th we had New Beginning in Osaka, and once again my heart fell apart again because of the loss of Suzuki Gun. They lost all their matches, which makes you think, Suzuki, just kill them and get new people. Damn it. I mean, like the matches were good. You got the first match, Hinare, one of the young lions, facing off against Taka Michinoku, who apparently was suffering from a really, really violent flu epidemic. Like most of the wrestlers in New Japan this event were suffering from the flu, including Don Callis. Like everyone had the flu. It was weird. I think I saw one of them sneeze.
They forgot to wear their face masks.
Michinoku beat the young lion and then just started slapping him around and just left. Tenzan Kojima beating Kushida and Yoshitatsu. And Yoshitatsu, man, this match, everyone hates him now.
No, I can never hate Yoshitatsu, dude.
He literally just started attacking everyone. After the match, Kojima tries to shake his hand. He just slaps his hand away and just starts beating him up.
I could never.
And now Yoshitatsu's in Mexico.
I could never hate.
Yoshitatsu's now in Mexico.
Good.
That's a thing. Juice Robinson, Jushin Thunder Liger, Tiger Mask 4, and Yuji Nagata beating the Chaos team of Giro, Jaro, Yoshihashi, and Goto in a match where Juice Robinson once again pins the never openweight champion, which begs the question: Juice, just win the damn title already.
It's just a matter of time, right?
Yeah. Another tag match, a 6-man tag match. Suzuki Gun with the leader Suzuki, Taichi, and Kanemaru, the weird guy with the leather jacket, facing off against beating Chaos's team of Okada, Beretta, and your man Rocky Romero in a match where everyone got murdered. Okada his knee was messed up. Romero was thrown against the fences a lot. Beretta disappeared.
Where's Trent?
He disappeared again.
No, not Trent.
Los Ingobernables de Japón, Bushi, Evil, and Sanaga beat Taguchi Japan of which is Ryusuke Taguchi, Nakanishi, and Tanahashi, which makes this entire event ending with the entire faction of Los Ingobernables hold the title again.
Good.
Shibata almost killed Will Ospreay in what I like to call one of the best matches I've ever seen in 2016 when it comes to strong style. It was a good match. Yano once again steals a victory, beating the teams of the Great Bash Heels of Makabe and Hanma and Suzuki Guns, Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Takashi Izukaya. And Izukaya replaced Lance Archer because Lance Archer has a herniated disc and needs surgery.
That's why.
So as of right now, he had the surgery, I think, the day of the event.
That's why they didn't win.
I don't know, man. But Lance Archer is out with injury, so the Killer Elite squad's broken up right now. And Izukaya, why? Why do you have a metal hand? Why are you hitting people? What's wrong with you? Yeah, where's Scott Norton? Takahashi in a match where I like to say it, he's a heel. He is a heel. He is a heel for what he did. Because of Takahashi, what he did was he took off Dragon Lee's mask. Ooh. We saw his face. Dragon Lee was preventing him doing it was either a Hurricanrana or a sunset flip. It was like, and Dragon Lee's instinct was to shove his head in his crotch, which and Naito beating Elgin for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. And I tried to send you a GIF of it, and I keep messing up. But the entirety of Los Ingobernables walked out to the ring. It looked really good, man. They all left with the titles, man. As of right now, Los Ingobernables are the dominant faction because everyone has a title.
Good.
And from to WCPW's True Destiny. That's right, people. If you love your British wrestling, but you can't stand British wrestling, you have WCPW. Is that right, Joe?
The most stacked card I have seen so far on WCPW. It was so good.
Like, I'm still watching all the matches because I want to see how good these matches are. But this is the first match of the pay-per-view. Ricochet versus Will Ospreay. This tells you something.
You know it's going to be good when that's your opening match.
And not only that, they broke the ring in less than 5 minutes. The top rope broke off. They had to readjust the entire match. Even though Matt Striker was talking about how they probably had this game plan of repeating the match that they had in Japan, but they had to readjust to the point that it was mostly a mat-based kick affair, but it was really good to the point that even Ricochet had fun with it. He grabbed the top rope, put it in the middle of the ring, and jumped off the top rope per se, doing a backflip. It was a good match. Rampage beating Primate in the I Quit match. And this is their 5th match of the best of 7 series. Which is leading Rampage 3-2. I need to watch the other. That's a lot.
So good, dude.
I don't want to watch WCB. Drago. Because Pentagon Jr. had some scheduling issues, which prevented him from going into the WCPW event. Zack Sabre Jr. beating Travis Banks by submission. The Swords of Essex, which had Ospreay. He wrestled again?
Wait, who did Drago go against?
Hijo de dos Caras, the brother of Alberto el Patron, which makes you think, do they travel together? Patron and Dos Caras?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Swords of Essex, Will Ospreay, Scott Wright defeating Johnny Moss, Liam Slater, Gabe Kid Elguero, and the prospect Lucas Archer and Alex Gracie in a four-way ladder match for the WCPW Tag Team titles. So this begs the question: why would Ospreay wrestle twice? But then again, he didn't wrestle enough because of a broken damn ring.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Nexon Newell defeated Pia Pretzley in a singles match. Tessa Blanchard because she was unable to make the event as well. This match was supposed to be the billing of the girlfriends of the Ospreay Ricochet match. So it was supposed to be their girlfriends facing off against each other. Drew Galloway defeating Joe Hendry for the WCPW World Championship with Martin Kirby as the special guest referee. Joe Hendry, you should have won this.
He really should have, man. I'm sad that he didn't, but I guess they really want Galloway to be a monster.
True. Event. The last match of Kurt here in England. In the UK, Kurt Angle defeating Alberto El Patron. And man, I wish I saw this match because I'm still in the process of watching all the matches in its entirety. What I do is I try to watch all the matches thoroughly to understand these matches, to see what people like about it, what people hate about them. Because you know what? I don't understand why people like WCBW.
Really?
I don't see it.
Well, they make dream matches happen, so.
But my dream match is to watch Pete Dunne murder someone in the middle of the ring.
Well, maybe you should have better dreams.
I mean, I saw Yuji Nagata versus Pete Dunne, and Pete Dunne was, and Nagata made Dunne look like a bitch. But then again, Yuji Nagata will make anyone look like a bitch.
Hashtag carried. Hashtag tranquilo.
And I think that's it. Is there any other wrestling related events out there this week?
Well,
Faith?
little upcoming stuff. We got, of course, Fastlane coming soon. Kevin Owens versus Goldberg is still on the card for the Universal Championship. We got Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman, and of course Neville versus Jack Gallagher for the Cruiserweight Championship. And I guess a couple rumors on the table. Apparently, it's not 100% off the table that we're going to have a Wyatt family triple threat at Mania. Could happen. I mean, it's still on the table. AJ Styles is being forced to compete in the number one contender battle royal. Apparently to build to a match with Shane McMahon, maybe. I guess they're kind of hinting at that one. Lana says that her character was based around characters from Game of Thrones. Makes sense, I guess. And apparently, everyone's favorite segment where Enzo Amore got beat up in Lana and Rusev's hotel room was apparently personally produced by Triple H. Who would have thought that the guy that did the Katie Vex segment would be down for a hotel room invasion? And apparently, Mick Foley told a story that that Vince McMahon once chewed out Braun Strowman for using the term title shot. So I guess title shot is one of those words that you just can't say anymore, like win the belt or anything along those lines. So I guess title shot we won't be hearing anymore unless we know someone's going to get in trouble.
Not only that, apparently you can't call WrestleMania the granddaddy of them all, the showcase of the Immortals anymore, because apparently it makes it look old.
Yeah, you got to call it the grandest stage of them all, I guess.
But I still like the showcase of the Immortals and the granddaddy of them all because JBL makes it work. It makes it work, man.
I guess they also want to distance themselves away from stuff that JR once said, so.
True.
I guess that about sums up everything that happened on This Week in Wrestling. Thank you all for listening. Anything I may have forgotten there, Salvadoom?
Uh, yeah. As of this recording, I think 2 minutes before the recording, we actually found out the passing of let me
Oh,
pull this
Nicole
up. I forgot her
Bass.
name
Nicole
already.
Bass.
Ye-
That's right. Nicole
yes.
Bass has passed away. That's right.
Not only that, we also lost a Chavo Guerrero Senior Chavo Classic earlier this week. Like,
Not a
like
good
that
week,
really hurt
man.
me a lot. That
N-
hurt me a lot.
Not a good week that we lose Nicole Bass and Chavo Classic at the same exact time, dude. Like, I'm not digging it.
Yeah. But it kind of makes you think, like, are we starting to live in the age where all our classic wrestlers are starting to die now?
It certainly seems
Because
that way,
it's
man.
because it all started with Piper and Rhodes.
Definitely, yeah.
But man, I remember when Piper died, and that broke me, man. Final word. Watch your favorite wrestlers now, man. Make those trips to meet them now because you never know when they're gonna leave.
Yep, definitely. And I'd say,
Also,
oh, go on.
also, Teddy Long's in the Hall of Fame.
Teddy Long player. He's joining
Holla,
Kurt
holla,
Angle
holla.
and the Express that rocks and rolls to go into the Hall of Fame, baby.
So all I'm thinking is who's gonna escort him? Is it gonna be Crystal or Oksana?
Now it's gonna be the Undertaker. Holla holla.
Undertaker just accompanies them everywhere, but
No, 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 no. Who's it that he managed? Was it Rodney Mack?
Rodney Mack and Mark Henry and Jazz. No, it's
Jazz,
Jazz.
Jazz. Yes, Jazz.
Oh my god, dude! Like this is the weird thing for me when it comes to WWE's women wrestling. My favorite wrestlers in really the ones that can easily just kill them in a real fight. So like my favorites were like Jazz, Ivory, China, Victoria.
Dana Brooke
Like
nowadays.
now it's Dana Brooke and Nia Jax. Sisters is
Yeah.
Jill now.
Jeez, dude. But yeah, I guess my final word is gonna be, get out to all the indie shows and all the local shows you can get to, because you never know who's gonna make it big, and then you can look at your friends and say, I remember I took a picture with that guy, or I saw him when he was still first getting started out. And they may not care, but it'll leave you a little something. Thank you all for listening. Hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure you follow our Twitch, our Twitter, our Steam group, our Facebook, our everything. I'm sure if I missed something, we're going to put it down in the thing there down below. Thank you all for listening. And yeah, I will see you. In fact, we both will see you. I'm not going to sell him quite yet. Don't let him know. We will see. We will see you next week. Good night, everybody.